Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Sounds
Welcome to the United States and Kingdoms of the West, or you can call it the CANZUK live stream. We're gonna combine that. This might be the last live stream for a while.
Why?
We're gonna, yeah, it might come as a surprise to you. We'll redo the live stream. Actually, the funny thing is, Andrew, you could totally continue live streams in the future.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna continue. I'd rather we could do server discussions, and then
Wait, why do you want to kill the live stream though?
the viewership is too low.
Mm-hmm.
The viewership is too low for me to continue this, and I rather just do a like we could just do discussions and then make those YouTube videos. Again, I mean, if this stream gets to 10 views, then I'm down to continue. But if it doesn't, then yeah, I'd rather stop it. You can continue. You could either you can post it on this channel or you can post it on your own channel, and I'll post the link for people.
Okay, you have the live stream up, good.
Hmm?
Oh, I was just looking at the Discord, making sure you had the live stream up on the welcome chat.
Yeah, no, I put it in the what's it called, announcement, so it goes to every server that is following this server. Okay, good.
All right, well, give me a minute. I'm gonna run and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. So the first 5 minutes, if you're watching this in the future, just skip the first 5 minutes. For now, please help the stream by posting as like viewing it on any phone or device or whatever you have. Please help the stream. But yeah, this could possibly be the last stream for a while. Don't worry. In the future, we're 100% bringing it back bigger and better. The funny thing is, we're always on the Discord server, so you can check us out on Discord. Discord.gg/USNA. We're always on there. We have actually, if I do say so myself, we have pretty intelligent conversations happening all the time. But obviously, live stream, you get an hour of stuff, and you could say even out of that hour, you could say 20 minutes of it or 30 minutes of it is very intelligent. But it's like, there's a 30-minute of fluff, and that's the thing. I want to put myself in like the audience's shoes, and yeah, I wouldn't watch a stream like that. Now, okay, it's funny. As soon as I say this might be the last stream, we've got 8 viewers already in the, and we haven't even started this stream.
Wait, hold on. Ethan, where's my phone at?
I don't know.
I think you're sitting on it.
Maybe.
It's on the couch somewhere.
Let me look.
Give me a second. Okay.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Here, get up for a second.
No. Did you put it down in there? Must have. I know it's the wallet.
That's your. Why do you have your wallet on?
That just because I didn't want it in my pocket.
My phone. Can you call?
I can't.
Damn it.
Okay. Seems to be good.
Oh, I found it.
Okay. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Anyway, no. So yeah, no, the YouTube channel. We're not stopping anything else with YouTube. We're simply just going to stop doing live streams until we could get a higher viewer count. And I mean, look, Punjabi Playboy and AK Drews, they could definitely do the live stream if they want to. Let me check. They can. So what I'm gonna do is try to put more condensed videos. So the way the YouTube algorithm basically works is they like videos that are more than 10 minutes, but then on our live stream doesn't do so hot. So it has to be more than 10 minutes, but I don't know. It has to be like over 10, under 30, or under 20, or I don't know. It's a weird thing. And the
No
funny
one
thing
knows how
is,
the mysterious YouTube algorithm works.
well, that's true. There's people that are trying to figure it out, and the issue is like because we're more libertarian / nationalist. Obviously, the algorithm's not a big fan of us. That's why it's very important to check out other non-Silicon Valley companies like Discord or BitChute or even Parler. I see a lot of people moving to Parler and Telegram. Yeah, personally, I've been banned from Instagram before, and if I get banned again, I'm giving up. But yeah, if I get banned on YouTube, I'm giving up on YouTube. But yeah, no, it's better to just move on. Now, right now.
Well, I'm starting my own YouTube channel here pretty soon. So.
That's good. You could do that.
You can be on there if you want.
Yeah, wouldn't mind. Or if you want, I could even just give you the password of this one if you want to post. If you want to do lives. Anyway.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Anyway, okay. We're at 5 minutes more. Let me check something. Oops. Okay, perfect. Punjabi Playboy said Drew with the sexy haircut.
Thank you.
Now, as always, let's double check.
Pretty fucked.
That's per 1 million. Let's actually try to go through these a little faster than we usually do. Andrew, can you read the top 10 worst countries right now?
Oh man, I can't even see it. Hold on.
Oh, you can? I know. I'm glad you told me that. That's actually good. If you can't see it, the audience.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, one sec. Oop. Okay. Yeah, to read the top 10. Yep.
In terms of, what is this in terms of? Deaths per 1 million?
Yes, sir. That's per 1 million.
All right. You have Belgium, San Marino, Peru, Andorra, Spain, Italy, Argentina. Scroll down a little bit. And then you have the UK. Wow, the UK is on there.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Brazil, and then the USA at number 10.
Interesting. Okay, so 2 out of the 10 worst countries are 2 of the countries that we care about. So we'll have to look at closer look at those. Iran being 26. I was born in Iran, and I don't believe that. And Iran, there is no free press in Iran. So again, this is hard to believe.
Iran should be way higher.
Yeah. Israel's Israel went up a little bit. They're 44th again. Canada's 45th. When we used to do the stream, Canada used to be worst.
Mm-hmm.
And then Russia, like the other. Okay, then the world average. Remember, there's 200 countries in the world, but there's 72 countries doing worse than the world.
I assume Australia is on there then.
No, Australia's not part of the 72 worst.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Now, outside of these, oh wow, this is kind of controversial. They labeled Palestine as a country.
Mm.
We're gonna check that out.
Do they also have Israel then? I'm confused.
But Israel is recognized by the UN as a country. Palestine is not recognized by the UN as a country.
Correct.
Palestine is actually an observer state.
But how can they have Palestine and Israel on the same list?
Well, because there is a thing about this 2-state solution where you could have them become 2 different countries and literally with their own borders. Going down though, pretty much we've reached bunch of I can't believe Syria. It's so funny. Syria, you can say, oh look, they have barely coronaviruses. Yeah, because they got war deaths right now. Syria, it's much better than it was 4 years ago, but still, would assume they're here. Let's just skip through the New Zealand's 176.
New Zealand doing really well, which is admittedly pretty easy to do when you're an island country.
Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, good for them, but still. Okay, now this is the weird part. UK, get your shit together. UK, seriously. What the hell is this? You have 1.5 million cases, but 55,000 people died. But then you know how many recovered? Like seriously, they gotta get their
Well, they
data.
definitely have recoveries. It's
Of
just
course
the
they did.
website. The website hasn't compiled the data yet.
I know that's the sad part. Like they're not being efficient. Now USA, it's so funny. Like, oh my god, 12 million. Oh my god, 262,000. Wait, 7.5 million Americans recovered. No one ever talks about this.
Which means there's more than 5 million active cases right now.
That's true. Now here's the issue. It doesn't show. Oh yeah, 7.7 had an outcome. So they either recovered, discharge, or death. Let's actually do. Let's look at again. Let's look at deaths for 1 million for the U.S. Actually, let's do the U.S. last. I just want to double check Israel for a second. 2,700 people died. 300,000. That's actually almost the same as the case. Look, they've recovered pretty much. Good for them.
Still means they have a few 100,000 active cases.
No. It's like 7,000.
Oh yeah, sorry, I missed the data.
Yeah, you guys aren't used to countries having less than 300 million people. Americans.
Don't start with that.
Although, again, look, the peak of daily this is kind of weird. Israel's October 20th, they peaked there, and they've been slowly going down. Now let's go to Canada, my country. Again, 300,000 cases, 206,000 recovered, 11,000 deaths.
Pretty good. Not 80 to 90,000 that are still active.
Exactly. So it says 431 people, 1% are critical. See, good job, Canada. Like anyone who knows me knows that I hate Justin Trudeau, but this is impressive. They actually have a better data where they said, look, we have 50,000 in mild condition, 431 people, 431 individual people with a serious or critical problem. That's actually a good data to know. So we know Canada has 27,000 close cases. So which means you either recovered, discharged, or you died.
Well, you have to look at it in terms of population, though. Because how many people in Canada? Like 200 million max?
No. Canada has 37 million.
Oh, okay, that's it. Then,
yeah.
Well, if you compare that to America, America is actually doing similar to Canada, but we have way more people. So obviously we're going to have more cases.
Exactly. No, exactly. And here's the funny thing. Look, it says 96% of people with the virus either recovered or discharged. 96%.
Yep.
Okay. This doesn't mean 96% of people of the country. It just means out of the people who had it. So this 4% death doesn't mean 4% people will die.
But that average is the same across most countries. It's not
exactly.
just Canada.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll check those out. And that's the issue right now. Is right now the people who don't have it, obviously, you know, the funny thing is if we take this and brush it all across the nation, it means only 4% of Canada's population will die. Now, obviously, that is a lot, but again, you have to understand how much the issue with the whole economy thing. When we say, "Oh, the economy is going to go down," who cares about the economy? I care about the people. Yeah, if the economy goes down, people might die because of unemployment. People might die because of suicide or homelessness. Like, there's other things. The economy doesn't mean, the rich aren't going to get rich. Let's look at Palestine. This is interesting. The state of Palestine. I don't know. I don't think they're including the West Bank when they talk about the state of Palestine. But either way, they seem to be doing really well. Barely any deaths. And then New Zealand, 25 people, individual. Andrew.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, 25 people died in Sweden, or sorry, in New Zealand. This, if New Zealand is doing any lockdowns, that is the most stupidest thing I've heard in my life. 25 people have died. And this is throughout the entire coronavirus. In the last 9 months. Or how long have we had virus? 11 months. Damn, it's been 11 months.
Just about. Since, I think, November of last year.
If it's November last year, then we're reaching a year. But let's just say it's just January.
Yeah.
So 10 months. Like 25 people have died. There's New Zealand. The only thing I would do if I was in charge of any policy, if I was a policymaker, I would like just screen for immigrants, or not even immigrants, like anybody leaving or entering the country. And other than that, no, you guys have only had 25 deaths. You guys are fine. 25 individual deaths. And the peak of it was
pretty good.
Yeah, the peak of the cases were April, May. The deaths have been recently going up, but I think that's only because this is not the daily death. This is just total deaths. Sorry, this is daily deaths. Yeah, daily deaths, they peaked in April. The day that peaked in April. Again, you're hurting the economy if you continue this shit. Then we go to Australia. Again, even Australia's doing well. Although to be fair, they have a lower population. They have their peak deaths was August. Oh no, this is peak cases. Let me see their deaths. Oh, peak deaths was August. Okay, that's actually an interesting thing. So August, there should definitely be again for island countries like that. You should definitely just watch your people. You seem to have a very low death count. Then Andrew, I want to see Canada's actually before we go back to America. I want to see Canada's daily deaths. Our peak was in June.
Yeah.
Canada's peak daily deaths was in June. So we've been doing really well so far. Although October, it went up, but again, it never reached that June death count. And then newly infected. Yeah, no, Canada again is really, just watch for people leaving the country. Andrew, are you ready to just look at America's worst states?
I am.
All right. Read us the top 10 worst states. Not much difference.
All right. Yeah, I got you. Okay. All right. We have New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, all East Coast, by the way. Louisiana, Mississippi, Rhode Island, North Dakota, Illinois, and DC.
Interesting. And then just to be fair, the 11th is South Dakota.
5 of those 10 are all on the East Coast.
That is interesting. Yeah, they all do border each other. Except for...
Actually, sorry, 6 of those 10 are on the East Coast.
All of them except for Louisiana. Well, no, Louisiana and Mississippi don't border.
No, North Dakota. North Dakota.
Oh, yeah. Well, District of Columbia is technically there. Yeah, and District of Columbia is technically bordering them too, so yeah. They, I'm so sorry for anyone living there. Legit, I saw like this thing on TikTok where, yeah, the worst governors of USA. And, yeah, they had New Jersey and New York as worst governor, and Michigan. Although Michigan not top 10, so come on. I know Michigan's 12th, but let's be fair to Michigan. At least not the top 10 worst states.
Well, still pretty bad.
Yeah, okay, let's look at the best states. Vermont beat Alaska?
It's not that surprising.
But Hawaii and Alaska shouldn't even... What? They're isolated. They shouldn't... Wow. Okay. We're going to read the top 10
Actually,
best
that's not even true. And I talked about this on the last live stream, is that Alaska actually, in terms of shipping ports, is like one of the #1 places in the world. So we get a lot of corona because of the shipping ports.
Damn. But I thought, okay, fine. Read the top 10 best states.
Vermont, Maine, Alaska, Hawaii, Oregon. Wow, Oregon's doing well. Utah, Wyoming, Washington, West Virginia, and New Hampshire.
Well, let's look at that. Oregon, Washington, and... Well, no, California is not there. So, yeah. Alaska, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii are all like the westest states.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, east side is definitely not beast side right now. It's,
they have New Hampshire at least, and Vermont.
Oh, good for them. Good for them. So honestly, you got to be. So listen,
and Maine.
Vermont. Let's actually get something clear. Just because Vermont's doing well, this is not an endorsement of Bernie Sanders at all. You have to understand, it's the governor that is in charge of state stuff. Okay, it's not the senator.
Correct.
The senator doesn't determine what happens with the virus. Okay, so I mean, senators can through the federal level, but senators can't do it through the statewide level. They can't just say, "Oh, you know what? Let's close the borders." No.
Correct.
So the governor, preach to governors, and in fact, this election, I noticed we have 27 Republican governors. So Good for you guys. Let's talk about CANZUK. Unless you want something else to talk.
No, that's fine.
Okay. CANZUK is a basic like the European Union, but except it's with Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. These four. And these four are already militarily on the same side. And this would just pretty much imagine like a libertarian wet dream where these four would have completely free market with each other. They would have completely free travel with each other. They would have free workplace visas with each other. They would just pretty much, again, a libertarian, not an anarchist open border. This is like an actual libertarian union of these four nations. And culturally, these four countries are very similar. I used to think, oh, we got Punjabi Playboy joining us. Sunny, you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, but go ahead, Ali. Tell us, give us your introduction to CANZUK.
Oh yeah, sorry, you missed it. But basically, it's those four countries that you already are aware of,
Correct.
and they would have a free market with each other, free borders with each other, free student and work visas with each other. Pretty much like a libertarian wet dream, not an anarchist wet dream like a just open border. No, but again, with these four, and to be fair, you can't even have a open border between these four; they're too far apart.
Well,
so
you can. You
You can have open visas. Like no, I'm saying like you can easily like airplane. So that's the thing. They have all this together, and yeah, what do you think? First of all, as let me start with the American. What do you think?
It depends on other things as well. So I don't know if you researched this, but in terms of sharing military technology, arms deals, and all that, I'm not sure where I stand on CANZUK because I don't necessarily want another sort of world superpower, which is they all share military technology with each other in sort of opposition to the US. But I do think that it could be a good idea.
Well, that's I definitely have some questions about that. But okay, you tell me, Sadi, what do you think about CANZUK?
Okay, so the number one thing that stood out to me, so I'm looking at approval rates for the idea by country, and the lowest approval rate is actually in the United Kingdom. It doesn't mean it's a low approval rate. It means it's the lowest, okay? And the highest is in New Zealand.
Yep.
Right? And what that tells me is that countries that are economically going to be contributing the most, CANZUK is not as popular as countries that are going to be contributing the least, okay? And where I'm going with this is that I hope this doesn't turn into another NAFTA where countries find out that they're contributing more than some other countries like America was, and then this all just breaks down 10, 20 years from now, because that would be a big waste of time.
Oh, wait, I'm confused though. You said the UK has the least amount of support for CANZUK, correct?
No, okay. I know the numbers he's talking about. UK is 67.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just want to say it's UK is a 67% approval, and New Zealand's 83%.
Well,
again, these aren't low numbers. It's just compared to each other. They're low or high.
So I'm confused though. Why is the UK? So the UK, you're saying the UK has the lowest number of approval ratings because they commit the most economic resources.
Well, that's one of the reasons. Another reason is they just left a group. They just left a union, and so I think people are a little hesitant to join another one.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
There's a sentiment of, I guess, individualism and I guess patriotism in UK where they'd much rather be alone for the time being.
But they still have a fairly high approval rating. I mean, 67% is pretty good.
100%. And I think there's a part of the United Kingdom where they didn't just leave the EU because they thought the UK could be independent. They left the EU because they generally thought the EU was the problem. I don't think they have a problem with unions. They have a problem with EU.
Thank you. That's actually thank you. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Right now, there is another issue with the EU that not a lot of people talk about. Is you have to understand, EU is 27 countries with like 23 different languages and like 3 different currencies. I know they're trying to make it one currency. They aren't the same. In fact, in terms of like the UN, when the EU votes, their member states don't always agree. Their member states, when they vote, some of the countries vote for something article. Some of the countries vote for a different article. So it's the main issue is those four are always on the same page. For the past 70 years, there's never been a case where one of those four members would disagree on a global issue. The last time, I believe, was 1955. It was the Suez Canal thing, where UK and France decided to, attack the Suez Canal, like take it over, and Canada said, "No, we're not going to join you on this. We're because it's like it's been 10 years after like we don't want to be part of this." That was like one time they disagreed on an international thing. Other than that, like 70 years, they've all agreed on everything. So these four are super similar. They're already culturally like you can take any member from one of these four, move them to another one, and they'll live there happily.
I mean, personally as a Canadian, I think this is a win-win. But however, there's a lot of I guess policies that the country supports, but they become very political. Okay, free speech is one of them, right? We talked about 81% of the country does not necessarily support Canada's Bill C-16. However, it still got passed. Okay, so popularity doesn't mean something's going to get passed or not.
True.
Right now in Canada, it's the right that's championing this whole CANZUK movement. In Britain, it's the right that's championing this whole CANZUK movement. Okay, and where I'm going with this is that this is actually really good for the left. So the left believes in accessibility to education, which I don't think it's a belief. I think that's just any normal person would want everyone to have education.
Sure.
However, so Canada is notorious for, at least their graduate programs being really expensive. The amount of schools available to students, it's not as accessible as it is in America. I think this will be really good for bringing down Canadian tuition, because now those Canadian students that couldn't get into a med school in Canada or a law school in Canada, they can go to UK without paying like the visa fees, without paying the international cost.
Right.
And so I think one of the biggest, not the only, but one of the biggest upside to this is education is going to become a lot cheaper for Canadians.
Yeah, no, that is true. This
That's
is
one of the reasons why I support it, but I do think that there is something to be said about sharing of military power.
Well, actually, let me show you guys something. This is no. First of all, no. In terms of militarily, listen, the EU shares military power, and they're not trying to fight the US, and they never will.
Correct. I'm not. That's not what I'm afraid about. That's not what I'm not. That's not an issue for me.
Well, fine. Tell me your issue. Let me just show this, and I actually am curious what your issue is. I thought that would be right now. If this was to be a thing, they would have approximately almost 2% of the world population. They would be the biggest country in the world, which that actually surprised me. I was like, I thought we'd still be smaller than Russia, but no. Apparently, no.
Canada's big. Canada's massive geographically.
Yeah, so is Australia. It's actually Australia is also the other one that's making us super big. So we'd be the biggest country in the world. Our GDP would actually be third. That was interesting.
Wow.
That was interesting. I think it's because they're not including EU. But then again, the EU would be dead. Like I think in the next 10 years.
They couldn't include EU though because of Brexit.
Well, no, but I'm saying right now, even like global GDP, like it's US first, then China, then EU.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised how we'd be third. I'm like, I guess I don't think we'd be bigger than the EU's GDP.
No, you probably would be because a lot of the EU is small, poor countries.
Yeah, but Germany and France are there. They're not.
Germany and France, yeah.
So that's why I guess though. I guess they're not including the EU because I think theirs is 17.
I think they are including the EU though because if you include Germany, France, which are the two biggest producers in the EU, other than the UK, which isn't even in the EU anymore. Yeah. Australia has a GDP fairly similar to France, and if you include New Zealand, Canada's is up there as well. So, like, I mean, Canada's a rich country. Like, I think they're potentially even richer than Germany, although I'm not sure about that.
They're in the top 10. They're in the top 10.
They're in the top 10, yeah.
Canada's ninth right now, yeah.
Ninth, okay. So you have the ninth top economy. Where is Australia?
Well, let's see. Yeah, well, yeah, UK is fifth. And Canada's ninth. So, yeah, you got the fifth and the ninth place together. That is a big thing. Australia's 13th. Oh, you're right. Australia is bigger than that.
Yeah, so between those three countries, that's probably enough to overtake a lot of the EU.
Well, okay. Do you remember when we looked at this list like 2 weeks ago? Because we almost look at this list every week. Wasn't EU like at 17 trillion? and they were above China. But then obviously UK is gone.
No, it depends
So-
on whether you measure on parity purchasing power or GDP because they're different.
Okay, no. Well, I always look at GDP. So I'm pretty sure EU was like at 17, and without UK, they'd be at like 13. So
Well, actually, you shouldn't even look at this list based on You should look at it based on national income.
well, we'll get to that too. Actually, in terms of nominal, wait, let me just check something. Purchasing power, it doesn't have a global rank, but yeah, so we'd be the third largest economy, the biggest land, and the 10th biggest population. Our purchasing power. Oh, it does have purchasing power. Would be fourth.
Okay, behind the EU and China
Probably.
and America, I'm assuming.
Probably, but the funny thing, look, this list, I didn't do anything new. I literally went to the exact same Wikipedia link I always do, and it does not have European Union anymore. I don't
That's
know why.
I want to look up national income though, because national income is the most important metric when it comes to gauging economic success, not GDP. Because
I disagree with you, but I will look at national income.
Yeah, GDP doesn't take into account like the payment that you have to do for maintenance and all this stuff on your machines and all that. Like national income takes that into account.
Yeah, no, it probably does. Let me double check though. Let me check. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh yeah, here. Their GDP. Yeah, they would be bigger than us, dude. Oh, this is PPP. They'd be yeah, probably including that. But even if you don't include that, they'd be 15 trillion, and it's still higher than us because ours would be 6 trillion. So no, I think
Okay, but listen, I think there's something to be said about because Andrew was talking about we need to discuss like the military implications of this, and there's something very common between these four countries, right? Which is different from America. Okay, the one thing that stands out right at first glance is gun laws, as well as how progressive their social security system is. Okay, and I don't know if this is an attempt for these countries to distance themselves from America.
It is.
Yeah, you think so? Because I think there's a floating theory out there where they think that America and China are going to go at each other so hard that both of them are going to gradually deteriorate, and so that's going to give an opportunity to some of these number 3s or number 4s to become number 1.
Yeah, this is the thing. I actually, if to me again, I don't think Trump has lost yet, so we'll see by the end of it. I think Trump will be president. But one thing I realize is like, why am I so focused on America? I mean, yeah, I know America's important. You should be focused, and it is our biggest ally, and it is a big economy, so you should be focused. But I should be, as a Canadian. And Sonny always guilt strips me about this, and it's finally getting to me. I'm like, yeah, why am I so dependent on this? And it's like, because Canada is dependent on America. So I'm like, it is better for us not to be so dependent on who's the next leader of America. It's good to know these things, but it's also like, it shouldn't be such a breaking point for us. And that's why I support this, because to me, I think if Biden will be president, he's going to be China's bitch, unless I know the Senate could block a lot of his stuff, but still, he with the power of the House and with the power of executive orders, he could bypass the Senate a lot. So I'm like, yeah, they'd be fucked. So it's better for us to stop being so worried about America and be part of our own union. And the good thing is, our thing have 4 very extremely similar countries. That's why. You've noticed me. I haven't even mentioned Israel or America because I'm like, no, I'm okay with this, and maybe even include India. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't.
No,
but these four makes perfect sense.
I do want to mention about these 4 though. Okay, as much as they have a lot in similar with each other, one thing that does really scare me is the power imbalance. When you compare a country like New Zealand to UK, it's a day and night difference, man. Economically, military, politically, international influence, there's a day and night difference. Okay. And so what I fear is that New Zealand, they might become very pompous one day and decide to make decisions on their own. Yeah, and that's going to piss off some of the more powerful countries in there, like UK or maybe even Canada. And so I'm worried about the sustainability of this thing.
Right. I totally get that, and that's a very good point. I don't want this to be a thing where we would tax Canadians or British people more just to support people in New Zealand.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I 100% agree with you.
That's
But
the other thing. Well, sorry, go ahead, Ali. Go ahead.
No, Andrew, you go. I just want to say that's the only thing. I don't want that, but when you have open borders and open trade and open student free visas and student free working, that's not going to hurt anybody. Like, it's not going to tax somebody more. It's
100%. It's a win-win.
Go ahead.
No, I agree with that, but this is where I'm confused on CANZUK. Is CANZUK just an international organization, or is it like one super state?
Oh, well, that's the $1 million question. I don't want it to be one super state. I used to think it should be, but
me neither.
And no offense to New Zealand, but you guys would kind of be like, we'd have to. You guys would kind of hold us back.
Also, listen, there's EU. One of the biggest problems with EU was, UK was trying to tighten up immigration, but other countries in the EU weren't, and so people are using those countries as a destination point to get to the UK. Okay.
Yep.
And so, say for example, in the future, Canada or the UK want to tighten up their immigration, people just go to New Zealand and then make their way to the UK or Canada. And so that's going to cause a lot of problems too. So they really need to be on the same page about a lot of things here before they go ahead and sign this thing.
Correct. Like, I really like the idea of work visa or student visas being shared among multiple countries. Like, I want America, Israel, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada to all be able to share work visas to where it's easier to transition to go work or to go to school in another country. But I don't think they should be one giant super state.
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, the only difference is, though, now, the open borders part, open borders between Canada and USA is a horrible idea, specifically just because of the gun laws. You're just asking for the black market to just smuggle billions of guns.
Exactly.
So, open borders.
Anyway, but.
Well, yes, but it's harder when it's illegal. This, though, Canada, these four nations wouldn't really have that issue. Like, we'd literally, I know we're too far to even like run across, but if we were all in like one land base, it would also be totally okay to have an open border completely between these four. Like, just run around the border.
Mind you, it's going to be a more difficult transition for UK and Canada because Australia and New Zealand, they already have kind of like a pseudo super state.
Yeah, they do. Actually, Australia in their constitution has a clause at the end that if New Zealand ever wants to be a province of Australia, they can. New Zealand says no,
wow.
but that is the thing. Yeah.
So, okay. All right.
That's
like,
real.
Yeah.
It's good. And listen, and France's Macron did something interesting. He's like, he doesn't want Europe to be a China-US duopoly, and he's totally right. Even European Union is a little bit dependent on what China and US decides to do. So it's a good thing. I hate the European Union, but again, if the countries that are in it want to be in it, then you know what? Good for them. I personally don't think Poland and Slovakia and Slovenia and there's one more. There's four Slavic countries that actually hate the EU. I think those four should leave. But other than that, European Union makes a lot of sense for them, and it's good. We shouldn't be so dependent. That's the whole problem with socialism is like, if you're so dependent on the government, one day when the government runs out of money, then you're fucked. So that's the thing. If Canada, we're so dependent on America, one day if America runs out of it, what are we going to do? We're screwed. So we should be a little bit more self-sustaining.
I think for a long time, the reason EU did survive was because they were more of an economic pact than a cultural pact. At the turn of the 21st century, started to become a social and cultural pact, and so things started going south. And I pray to God CANZUK never becomes that, because Australia and UK are conservative right now, but New Zealand and Canada aren't.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Sonny. And that's why most of these countries, like you said, Poland, Slovakia, a few others, these countries are on their own predominantly poor. And that's why they're in the EU. What?
Well, not Poland, but yeah, the other ones, yeah.
Not Poland. Yeah, Poland could probably do a Polish exit, per se, and be okay. But Slovakia, Slovenia, a lot of these countries that oppose the idea of the EU and that only stay in it because they need that economic advantage of trade with the rest of the EU, et cetera, et cetera. And the only reason they're staying in it is because they're not, they wouldn't be able to leave the EU and be economically sustainable and efficient.
Yeah, exactly. And actually now, I'm sure we all agree with the economic union between these four nations, and I think we'd agree with the military union. I don't think there hasn't been a time in the past 75 years where militarily, or no, 200 years where these countries militarily disagreed, and internationally, the last time we disagreed was 75 years ago. So again, in terms of war and politics and international relations, all of that, I think, yeah, it would make sense. Now, the cultural union, Shani said he doesn't want that. I'm actually okay with that. If these four,
well, they already have pretty similar culture.
That's what I was going to say.
Well,
Yeah, we're
listen,
already kind of the same thing.
Okay. Just because we're at a similar point right now doesn't mean we'll be at a similar point 10 years from now.
Sure.
There can be I see a massive paradigm shift in the UK. In the last election, 70% of the country voted for a Conservative Party.
That's true.
There's definitely a right-wing sentiment on the uprise in that country, and it could continue. Okay, and that would really isolate them in this CANZUK agreement because the other three countries are relatively more left than the UK. So that's my biggest concern. And second to that in terms of culture is that Canada, more so than the other three, is becoming this whole champion of cultural mosaic, multiculturalism, and the UK is actually rejecting that right now. That's kind of one of the biggest reasons Brexit happened. It's because people are finding easy ways to immigrate to UK.
Yep.
Okay. So if you really want to focus on like ethnic diversity and things of that nature, it'd be hard in 10 years at least for these four countries to be on the exact same page.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. We couldn't be a super state. But here's the thing: what's more likely? Not even likely. What's more practical? The CANZUK becoming an actual country, or EU becoming the United States of Europe? You know what I mean? This is what
100% CANZUK, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because, dude, EU is so weird. Like, dude, they have 23 different languages. They have so many different cultures and history and
politically, they're all over the place. Politically, they're all over the place.
Religion, yeah, they're all over. So, like, this is also. I don't see. You're right, Sonny. It's always possible for things to shift,
to change,
but I don't know. I think these four nations will never be super different from each other.
Yeah, they'll definitely be a lot closer than anything in the EU for that.
So
yeah,
the alliance makes sense, even culturally, then.
Well, it might make sense now, but maybe not in 10 years. I think there's a lot of wrinkles they need to iron out before. I think at least from the get-go, they need to keep it as economic as possible, at least from the get-go.
Oh, I agree.
The foundation has to be like economic. But
no, here's the thing, though. That's why the union is a good idea for those countries, because they're going to bring them up economically. Like it's those like the UK is already pretty strong economically. New Zealand not so much, but it's gonna like heighten. It's gonna bring them to new economic heights.
I just hope that everybody benefits as opposed to this equalization effect where some countries lower and some countries get higher to the point where everybody's equal. I just hope there's no equalization effect.
Well, it depends on policy and how.
But listen, here's a thought experiment, and Andrew, this is going to be more directed towards you because you're actually American. So, we've seen in the past 4 years, there's been some animosity from America towards Canada with the steel tariffs, timber tariffs. So do you think, if CANZUK becomes ratified and official, there's going to be some pushback from America towards these four countries?
I do. And that's one of the reasons why I think, not that I don't support it, because I think it's a good idea for those countries, but this is one of the reasons why I think that it could blow back on America badly.
I think if America takes severe action, it's just gonna speed up the process at which CANZUK becomes a thing.
maybe not. I mean, America has a lot of geopolitical influence.
Oh, 100%. I think CANZUK is a way to, in a way, neutralize that influence.
Right, which is why America probably wouldn't support it.
Oh, I doubt, but I'm just saying if America decides to get, a little antagonist with it, it's just going to speed up the process because these four countries are going to realize, hey, listen, we can't depend on America forever. They have way too many.
Until we make war on Canada.
1812, buddy.
That's cute, buddy. That's cute.
1812.
Actually, this is going to be a similar repeat of 1812 because 1812 we had a lot of help from UK's colonies and UK. That's how we beat America.
Well, this is the thing, though. Like this was in Syria, though, too. Like Syria wanted to get away from the U.S. dollar, wanted to like become its own independent nation, and America said, no, you can't do that. So, what if the same thing happens with CANZUK?
Ooh, speaking of the dollar, I wonder what's going to happen to the Canadian dollar if this sort of thing goes through.
No. Okay, that's actually. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay, the whole one currency thing. That's one of those things that. Listen, I'm a liberal, but like it's usually like the super liberal thing. Oh, we're all gonna get along, kumbaya. That think we can get a one world currency. No, that can never happen. Don't ever assume we can have a one world currency. And even with these four, I don't even think we should have a because okay, look at the list.
We could actually in terms of decentralized currency, yeah.
No, because look at this. Look at this. This is let me actually double check. Nominal GDP. There is look Canada and Australia. Their nominal GDP is similar, so they could get a thing going. They could try.
UK's double, and then New Zealand.
Look at New Zealand. Yeah. What the hell?
Well, it is a billion. Just it's 200 billion. It's not.
That's why 85% of the country, 81% of the country wants it.
They get the most benefits.
Exactly.
It's like literally. It's like a little kid saying, "Oh my god, I get to play in the soccer team with like the 8th graders." Oh my god.
That's
pretty
exactly
much
what it is. That's exactly what it is.
It's like,
which I still think is a good thing. I mean, if you can bring a country up economically, and still have benefits to the other countries in the agreement, then it's worth it. Okay,
let me just say, God bless Canada, because I just looked at GDP per capita. We have the best out of these four. I actually thought we wouldn't, and New Zealand has the worst. What is
51, 749? Yeah, it's actually New Zealand is pretty good.
Australia is better than the UK. I didn't think UK would be that low.
Actually, they're all fairly close.
Oh no, UK is going to get better. Don't forget, UK had a big influx of immigration, and they didn't want. And now it's the Brexit divorce. Even though Brexit happened in 2016, the divorce wasn't signed until January of this year. Okay, yeah, so don't even national. Wait, is this the thing Andrew was talking about? National wealth?
Yeah, or well, that's actually national wealth. I would look at national income because wealth and income are different.
Okay, well, whatever this is,
you can look at national wealth.
Again, Australia and Canada, quite almost identical. Again, UK is doubled, Australia's New Zealand is. So honestly, out of this union, Australia and Canada, we could fuse tomorrow. Let's do this. I have a new love for Australia now.
I kind of feel bad for Australia because New Zealand's like that younger brother that they got to bring along wherever they go.
The younger retarded. I'm kidding. No, honestly, no, I'm kidding because honestly, New Zealand's not that bad. Legit, New Zealand is actually a beautiful country. And here's the thing: if God forbid, knock on wood, World War III happens, New Zealand is the safest place on earth. Like literally, New Zealand is isolated. Everybody on the north, like Canada, Europe, Middle East, and Russia, all of that could be nuked, and New Zealand would survive.
I mean, we've already seen that, right? If a pandemic happens, New Zealand is the safest places to be.
I know. That's why. Again, I don't praise her that much. She's.
Well, the safest place with people. You could just go to like some uninhabited island in the Pacific and probably fare even better. But
true. But yeah, and wait, national wealth per capita, is this something else you want
to? What is this? National wealth. Oh, okay, this is just the same thing but per capita. It's
wait.
Okay.
We have Canada. We have the lowest.
I can explain the difference here. So national wealth is things including capital. It's basically GDP with capital included. And then national income is GDP with capital included, but they subtract all the costs for maintenance, for employees, etc. That's why national wealth is more accurate.
So it's how much money you're bringing in. I see.
Yes.
Well, in this
payments, yeah.
Well, in this, Canada is the lowest. But again, we're all in the 200,000. So whatever this is, we're actually quite similar.
National wealth per capita. Yeah, that would make sense.
Well, in terms of their population, yeah. I'm just surprised.
I would like to compare this to America. We should compare this to USA's national wealth.
Oh, I guarantee USA is a lot higher.
Yeah, you know what? We are in live now, so I can't. But I will definitely make that for the server. And this is why, from now on, okay, we didn't reach 10 views. I don't mind. From now on, we could just do a bunch of just videos, and that way we'll have like a chart or something prepared.
Wait, go back to PPP per capita.
Purchasing power per capita. Oh,
yeah.
Here you go. Canada's the best. Yeah.
Well, by the way, I just looked it up, and America's national wealth per capita is 320,000.
Okay, yeah, it's
significantly higher.
Australia is almost that much, but yeah.
Oh wow, interesting.
Well, it's
Switzerland's number one. Switzerland is number one.
What is Switzerland is another one of those. Listen,
Switzerland is, yeah.
Switzerland, again, they're not super culturally similar to us, but the whole idea of like USNA we have for the server is countries like Switzerland and Poland. Actually, no, not Poland's part of the EU. Switzerland and Norway. They're not part of the EU. They're quite similar, so we could think about them. But again, they're not. They're not English speakers.
Okay, so we're at 50 minutes. We have about 10 minutes till we wrap up. Is there anything that like you guys really want to talk about that's different than CANZUK, that's like really on your mind? Elections, Trump, anything of the sort?
Oh, actually, yeah, elections with CANZUK. I think if Biden wins, it's more likely to make CANZUK happen. But if Biden loses, it is less likely to make CANZUK happen.
I think it also depends on what happens in the other countries. Like in Canada, if Trudeau's, because right now who's championing CANZUK is Erin O'Toole, which is a Conservative Party leader.
Yep.
Right, and I just don't understand why this CANZUK thing became a political thing. It's a win-win for everyone.
Well, you have to understand.
I don't understand why the right took it up and the left didn't. It makes no sense to me.
Well, you have to understand, this is the stupidity of the left, and there are stupid young kids on the right too, but the young kids on the left, they're like, oh, Trump likes this? I hate this. So that's how Israel, that's how we have so many people who are there's queers for Palestine. What the fuck? In Palestine, you get killed for being gay. What the hell's wrong with you? But that's the thing. It's like, and I actually, at first I was mad at Trump. Like, why would you do it? But actually now I'm like, this is good because Trump brought the issue to the table. And it's only the stupid kids who are like, oh, Israel sucks. Dude, Bill Clinton was actually the most pro-Israel president up until Trump. So don't give me that bullshit that the left was always a champion of this. And same with CANZUK. In fact, this website, which I want to check later, is literally the liberal case for CANZUK.
No, that's not entirely accurate because like Biden might be pro CANZUK just because he's a pushover, but
I love you.
The idea of CANZUK actually undermines the U.S.'s influence, meaning that if Trump were president, like this is why I agree with you saying that Biden is better for CANZUK, because if Trump was president, then he would say, no, I'm not for CANZUK because it undermines my country's influence.
I see.
It does,
but at the same time, I think we're at a point where Trump's opposition to it would in fact just motivate the four countries even more to sign an agreement.
Potentially,
right?
Potentially.
Well, no, okay. There's another thing I saw called CANZUK that I can't find. We're live right now, but CANZUK was also an addition of US to that, and again, I strongly oppose open border.
I want to address something really quick. So Sonny, the idea that that it will strengthen that partnership might be true, but it also might not be, because all four of those countries, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Canada, are all dependent on American trade.
I agree, but that's the whole point of this agreement.
If Trump says we're not going to trade to you anymore if you do this union, then that exerts political pressure, right?
Well, the thing is, like, I think that geopolitics is so complex where I don't think Trump can literally target these four countries at the same time. Be like, hey, listen, if you do this, I'm done with you.
He could target one or two though, and create problems.
Well, if he targets specifically Canada, that's all the more reason Canada wants CANZUK. I mean, he kind of did target Canada. I think that if Trump wasn't putting all these economic barriers against Canada, I don't think CANZUK would even be this popular. I think those steel tariffs that came under Trump.
Yeah, which I opposed, by the way.
Dude, listen, steel is one of those things where people's livelihoods depend on it. I disagree with it so much. If you want to target something, don't target something that's going to affect low-level people.
I agree.
Dude, I think... Oh, God, of course somebody said it's CANZUK crazy. What's that? The issue...
Everything's racist nowadays.
Everything is. Well, obviously, yeah, we don't want any Jews or blacks in CANZUK. I mean, I thought we agreed on that. But okay, the thing is though, there is CANZUK as in a super union, and then we could do a little bit of CANZUK but with free trade and include Israel, India, and America in that too. But I guess those three wouldn't be as super close to us culturally. But those three are quite westernized. And,
actually, that's not even totally true, though, because America is actually pretty darn similar to Canada.
I used to, no, I mean,
the only differences are social issues. In terms of economics, we're fairly similar.
I think Canada's way closer to these three countries than
Than
America by a
I
long
agree. I
by a
agree.
long
That doesn't mean that America isn't close to Canada in terms of cultural, like, in terms of the cultural identity or whatever.
I think intellectually there's a big gap between America and Canada, the way we think.
What do you mean
Well,
by that?
Well,
So,
no, okay. We saw
I
an
say-
average penis size, an average IQ size.
All right, all right.
Canada.
Ellie, just go
I-
ahead. I wanna hear it.
Canada, no, Canada's smarter by like 1 IQ point. But go ahead.
Listen, I'm not going to say Canada and like UK, Australia, New Zealand are collectivist countries, but I think they're far more collectivist than America is.
Yeah, okay.
They're far more collectivist.
Okay, good. You're actually making a cultural argument. So I would say not really. I would say Canada is an individualistic type culture, not a
No,
collective.
again, I didn't say Canada is collectivist. I said they're far more collectivist than America is.
Yeah.
You could just look at the type of policies we have, right? With healthcare and with social security, things of that nature.
Those are socialist policies, not collectivist ones.
Well, the two
Oh.
do go hand in hand. Come on,
They
Andrew.
do, yeah. Come on, they do.
Yeah,
Two
true.
sides of the same coin.
But you can have a collectivist culture without having universal health care.
Again, listen, I never said that these countries are collectivist. I'm saying compared to America, like if you have America and China, right? And America's one side of individualism and China's the other side. Yeah, sure. Canada is closer to the individual side, but there's a big gap between America and Canada on that spectrum. I mean, listen, dude, it's expected in smaller countries. Smaller countries tend to be more collectivist.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, China's an exception, but usually the smaller you are, there's more unison in thought.
Well, that's the thing. These 10 countries, 9 of them are opposed to China.
We're
So,
going to have this discussion on the server later, Sonny.
oh yeah, no, definitely. That's why again,
Yeah.
sometimes I want to randomly just record a conversation on Discord and then record it. But for now, thank you guys for watching. We're not going to do any more live streams unless Andrew or Sunny want to upload it here, or they want to do their own live streams. They could either use my channel or they could use their own channel, whatever you feel. Sunny already has the password to this channel, so feel free. But for me though, I'm going to take a break from this until I'm at least at 1,000 subscribers. Maybe we'll pick it up. But seriously, thanks everybody for always being there. I'm not giving up YouTube. In fact, I'm probably going to upload more videos on YouTube. But yeah, no more live streams for a while. I'd rather grow the server right now. And afterwards, yeah, maybe we'll do the live streams in the future. Maybe 2021.
Okay.
Now, there's nothing. In terms of USK, so I would say United States and Kingdoms of the West, that would literally be CANZUK plus Israel and USA. Would you guys include other countries in that in terms of more individualistic? Those 6 are the most individualist countries in the world. There's a reason we have a server on that.
I would say Australia, New Zealand, and Switzerland and Norway, but
Australia and New Zealand are already there. But yeah, Switzerland, and Norway. I'm down to maybe we'll have a server talk after this. Yeah, Switzerland, Norway, maybe. What about India? India is actually quite westernized.
It's still developing.
Only parts of it, dude. YouTube right now. Their most popular channel is a Indian channel. You know what I mean?
Economically, I would say they're pretty westernized. Culturally, a long way to go.
Yeah, but I think right now, forget culturally, but militarily,
even economically though, like economically in terms of population, they're actually way lower than they should be.
What do you mean by that?
What?
Like
India's low?
Like income.
No. What are you looking at? What's the metric you're looking at right now?
I'm looking at like capitalism, free markets, free businesses, things of that nature. These are like Western economic policies.
Yeah.
You know? And so India has done a lot to adopt that over the past 30, 40 years. Like, dude, 20 years ago, their economy depended on agriculture. And now it's become like heavily
50 years ago.
Yeah. And so like in the past 20 years, IT and tech and industry has taken off.
Of course.
Yeah. Like, they have like one of the biggest stock exchanges in the world now.
Of course, but they're still a developing country.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Look at population. So America, what is it? About 330 million people live in America, and we're the #1 economy in the world. If you look at India, they're they're over 1 billion population, and they're still only number 6 in terms of GDP, which means that most jobs and most things that bring in money for the economy are very low paying, which means that they're still a developing country.
I don't even know if it's low paying. I just think that like money's not circulating in the country right now. But anyways, that's a whole different rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I think we should revisit that in 10 years, where I think India might be. I think India's going to be in the top 5.
I totally agree with you.
I might have a bias. I might have an India bias, but I
No,
genuinely.
I totally agree. I mean, India's already almost within the top 5.
No. Whoa. Okay, look, they are the top 5 right now.
It depends on which metric you look at.
No. Well, I'm just only look at GDP. Like the World Bank is saying India is 5th, while the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, is saying India is 6th. So this already
Well, the IMF is a better measure, but
yeah, I agree. But no, even it being 6th, that first of all, that's quite impressive. Look how bad. Like France, look at that. France is no longer the top 5. India kicked it out, and I think you could say 2 things happened at once. India did
based on population, though. If France had India's population, they'd be number 1 in the world.
Are you kidding me? France never had India's population for the last 10 years, and they've always been.
I realize that. No. France hasn't had anywhere close. If France had 1 billion people, France would probably be number 1 or number 2.
I know, but I'm saying they haven't had that, and they have been way ahead of India for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
But this year, they're behind India.
Yeah, that's why it's a developing country.
I think we should save this for the next stream, guys. We're at an hour.
Sure. We did skip the first 5 minutes, remember. Either way, I am slightly worried about China's influence in the world. But
we are.
We are, yeah. Especially since literally they have actual concentration camps. They have actual concentration camps right now, and we're still trading with them. This is weird shit. And one of the good things about CANZUK would be it would be quicker to put sanctions on that. While now you have to like cooperate with Japan and Germany and India. Like, hey guys, let's fuck with China. Let's.
No, see, I have a problem with that though, because economic sanctions are not the best way to go about providing punishment to a nation that is committing human rights violations. Because
invade them.
No, not even that either. Like sanctions do not harm the people that are causing these problems. They harm the general population. When you put a sanction on a country, the rich people stay rich and the dictators stay happy, and then they create problems for the average everyday citizens that have nothing to do with this. Like this is why I don't really like sanctions, because sanctions actually hurt the people that you're trying to help them with.
Right, but then what should we do then? How should we take a strong direction against the CCP?
I mean, I would say just literally stop trade.
Well, that's what I meant by that type of sanction. Reduce trade. That's what I meant by a sanction. Reduce trade.
No, that's the sanctions and reduce trade are different.
Okay, sorry. I was using them interchangeably because to be whatever you hear the word sanction, I assume anything as in putting restrictions on them and stopping trade with them and calling them out. Like that's all of that is
they're different. Like if the U.S. said, "Okay, we're not going to trade with you anymore," I'd be fine with that. But putting a sanction on says that all of the U.S.'s allies can't trade with them, and other certain countries can't trade with them. So they lose a lot of economic growth in that sense, and they lose a lot of trade, because if the U.S. said, "Oh, we won't trade with you," China will just go to its next Russia or whatever, whoever will trade with them, right? But a sanction says if you're in the UN, basically you can't trade with them. Like countries can opt out of it, but like sanctions will say, like, if you're in the UN, which most countries in the world are, and you agree to that sanction, then you won't trade with them. That's the difference between sanctions and a singular country saying, "Oh, I won't trade with this other country."
Well, okay, fine. I want that too, though. Like our allies, if we're so dependent on champions of liberty and social justice, then all of us should stop trade with China. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be just America stopping.
But the problem is that stoppage of trade harms the actual people we're trying to help.
Yeah, I know. In that case, like the cure is worse than the problem.
Exactly.
No, listen. Right now, China is responsible for 66% of the world's manufacturing. It'd be impossible to just cut them off cold turkey.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely, and that's why we haven't done that.
We should slowly cut them off. We don't. We should have never let them get here.
It has to be a tapering off process, and there has to be everyone involved. It can't just be America spearheading it all.
No, you're right. You're right. And that's the good thing about CANZUK. Like a combination of CANZUK with America and India. Yeah, we could use.
Yeah,
cut
but that's
them off.
the thing,
And I'm
though,
sure
is
Japan,
that-
Japan would be happy to get into that. Japan would
No,
love
no.
to.
No, but you can't just cut China out of the equation, because if you do so, then goods become way more expensive.
I know.
And like, there's a lot of problems with that. Like,
I
people
know.
would
No,
riot.
it has to be
That's the point.
strategic.
For human, no, but for literally for a violation of human rights like this, we do that. Yeah, it will become more expensive, but this is for the greater good of humanity.
Listen, the one thing that's going to slow down this process is because there's some countries that have zero moral compass, and I'm not. And listen, I'm not singling out Pakistan because they're Pakistan, but listen, this is what Pakistan is doing. Listen, no, but no. Hear me out. This is just this is going to piss a lot of people off, but. Pakistan boycotted all French products because Emmanuel Macron defended free speech. However, China has 1 million Muslims in concentration camps, but Chinese products have never been boycotted.
Yep.
So look at the hypocrisy. Zero moral compass.
That is disgusting. No, that's a big issue.
No, but it's based on production. That's why it's like that.
Well, you really shouldn't call yourselves the upholders of the culture of the religion when money's going to buy your moral compass.
I don't call myself that. I think America is a piece of shit for doing that.
I know. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these countries that want to boycott one second, but also trade with China the next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, okay, guys.
I completely agree with you.
All right. Discord.gg/USNA.
But thank you guys for watching. Again, we will continue the live streams in the future if they want to, but for now, I'm gonna take a pause. Gonna continue posting on YouTube, and yeah, have a nice day. See you on our Discord server. Always on.
All right, thanks.